Hello, hello there, my crafty friends. It is Candy here from sweetstamper.com, and I am here for your weekly simple and stepped up stamping. And I'm so excited to be here with you today. It's a big time in the Stampin' Up! World because the annual catalog retiring list was just released. Was that just yesterday? There's been a lot going on. Hey Kay, I'm glad you're here with us today. There has just been a frenzy of excitement and activity and so much new to see. For those of us who are demonstrators, we already got to see the new annual catalog. So that released yesterday at, what was it, like 2 o'clock, I think, in the afternoon for us here in San Antonio. Hey Diane, I'm glad you're here. So, but of course we can't get it. We're excited to see the new. But even demonstrators, we cannot order until April the 1st. And then customers can order May, I think it's the 4th, May 4th or 5th. And so it is just so much cool new things to see. But in preparation for that, of course, there's a lot of things that are retiring. Hey, Jackie, I'm glad you're here. So they have to make room in the warehouse for all of the new. Hey, Laura, I'm glad you're joining us today. So there's lots of things that are on that retiring list, and many of those things are greatly discounted, especially the dies. There are some deep, deep discounts on the dies. So right now, you're better off to buy the stamps and the dies separately on many of those retiring items. Typically, if something is bundled together, so if Stampin' Up! Offers us a bundle, it's the stamps and dies together or the stamps and punch together, and we get 10% off. But you know, when dies are like 60% off or 40% off, yeah, that beats 10% any day of the week. So, you know, that's just something that we want to bear in mind as we are shopping retiring list. So I did send that out very quickly yesterday, and it was very quick. That's all I can say. So with all of the new coming, and then I really didn't feel well at all yesterday. I actually finished work early yesterday, laid on the couch, went to, I think I was having a really bad allergy attack. And even though I took, you know, allergy medication, I just needed to sleep it off. So slept really well last night, woke up today, and hallelujah, thank God. You know, when you feel crummy, it's just, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and bring camera down while we chit chat a little bit before we start stamping. Hey Claudia, I'm glad you're with us today, joining us. I'm going to be featuring retiring things as over the next little while things are on their way out and we are still using them. Let's see what you can see on my desktop here. So this is a stamp set. I'm backwards. Phooey. You know, okay, sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen. I had this all set, and then I accidentally, I don't know if you guys have ever done this, I accidentally set the SOS, and it must be close to where I do this on my camera, because I've had it happen a couple of times. It's like I'm trying to reverse my camera so that it comes out right side up for you, and I end up setting off the SOS on my phone. So I was even on here a little bit early, got everything all situated, and then I accidentally hit that silly SOS thing. I mean, it's not silly. I'm sure that if you need it, it's really important, but I'm going to end up sending you guys on you're going to feel, are we there? Yikes. I've ordered a new tripod. So we shall see if I don't do a little better on the next one. Okay, well, at least we're seeing pretty clearly now. Okay, Jackie, thank you for your feedback. Hey, Velma, I'm glad you're here. And Kim is here from Michigan. You know, you're so good about sharing my video, and I really appreciate that, Kim. Okay. Lots of things on that retiring list, lots and lots. I went through here and, you know, started my process of highlighting the things that I have. And so lots to see. and lots to celebrate, really. So I am going to dig in for my simple and my stepped up stamping today. I'm going to be using By the Dock. And hey, Gail, I'm glad that you shared this with your daughter. I appreciate that. That way y'all can watch together, even if you're not watching at the same time. You know, the nice thing about Facebook Live is it's all recorded. So this is one of those stamp sets that I went to because I haven't played with it as much as I had planned. And I wanted to go ahead and dig into it. The stamp set is not discounted. I don't think there's maybe just less than a handful of stamp sets that are discounted, but a lot of the dies are. And I'm pretty sure the dies are discounted. Now you can see the way this is in the catalog, if it has that gray around it, then it has either a die or a punch that coordinates. And in this sense, it has dies. So we might play with the dies next week, but I'm going to do some simple stamping with the stamps. And I wanted to also show you, well, before I move away from here, first of all, that these are very classic artist images. You know, you have a dock, you have a boat, a paddle, and these can go these are great for masculine cards, but these are also just great for any kind of card. I think anything with the water has a sense of calm and peace. You know, there's this I'm here for you stamp. I love, love, love this word stamp. Thank you for making a difference in my life. I think that could go to a whole host of people. I love the mixed fonts, that you have this nice scripty font mixed in with the print. But yeah, I think that this stamp set has a lot to recommend. The cute little frog. I mean, you could do something just with that frog, probably. That would be kind of fun. But that's the stamp set. I'm going to be using, for my stamping, I'm going to be using shimmery white cardstock. And I just wanted to show you this today because I used this on Tuesday as well. Tuesday is Teach Me Tuesday, and we were doing a little bit of technique. We were actually using, when I brought them over here, do I still have them? We were using the foam brayers, and they are not only on the retiring list, but they're deeply discounted. Now, I put them in a box. Yikes. Oh, here we go. So this is the way, well, they don't come in the box. They come in a little bag, but you get 2 handles and you get 4 of the little foam heads. And that is what I used on Tuesday to create these sunrise, the sunrise technique. They're really good for applying ink. And my guess is that probably they're retiring these. We've had these for a number of years. My guess is that, you know, the new, what do you call them? The new blending brushes are all the rage right now. So I guess we're going to kind of move in that direction. But these are really good for just, I mean, delivering ink very, very quickly and very easily. So I think they're like half price. So these were $8. If they're still in the online store, I think they're about $4, which is a real bargain. So that is what I used to create these sunrise effects. So I'm wanting to do some more sponging today. And when you're applying ink with sponges, whether it's the foam brushes, which are not foam brushes, the new, what do they call them? Blending brushes. Those are actually not foam. They're actually a little brush. So let me just grab mine really quick. I haven't been showing them much because you can't get them right now. Let me grab them really quick. These are all the rage right now, and they are such a rage that we sold out and we couldn't get them in time to even stock the warehouse. So they're on non-orderable status. So that's one of the reasons I haven't shown them, get them right now. And I personally don't like getting frustrated, because I see something, I'm like, oh, I want that. No, you can't get it. It's going to be several months before you can get it. So I don't like to do that personally. But when you look at these, they look like they're foam, but they're actually not. They're super, super fine brushes. And so they're just a different way to delivering ink, because we've always used sponges for shading and adding ink in different ways. So this is kind of a new animal entirely. So this is I want to call them foam brushes, but they're not foam brushes. These are actually blending brushes. So what we typically use is what I'm going to use today, and that is the sponges. Now, this is the way I store my sponges. These are the little foam brayers that you can get right now on sale. So the sponges come in big round circles. I think they're like 3 for $3.50. I mean, they're just dirt cheap. And what I like to do with mine is I cut them into 6s, and then I put a little cardstock handle on them, and then I keep them, you know, set aside where I have one dedicated to each color. And that just really helps me so that when I'm using them, I'm not crossing my ink. I don't want to have to stop and wash this every time, and then they're going to stain anyway, so then you can't figure out what color you used. And yeah, so I just do it a little bit different. Well, I say a little bit different. There's lots of other people that do them this way. And I'm having to, you know, Facebook keeps knocking me off on the computer side of things, so then I can't see what I'm doing, to make sure you can see, and also to see your comments. So this is the way that I store mine, and I store them. I ended up going to my team page instead of my Sweet Stamper page, which my team page is a lot of fun. And I would love for you to be there with me. Okay, here we go. Back to square one. Okay. The sponges are on sale too, Gail. Are these on sale? You know what? I didn't even look to see. Maybe these are being retired as well. Interesting. Maybe we're getting a new kind of sponge. Because you know, it's interesting because tear and tape is on the retiring list, but tear and tape is not going away. We even have the same ordering number in the new catalog. It's just a different, I think the manufacturing process is a little bit different. Hey, Susan, I'm glad you're here. Okay. So I will have to look that up. These are retiring. Lord have mercy, Darlene. Oh, be still my heart. Well, that's interesting. Maybe, you know what? You only have so many hours in a day to look at the new catalog. Maybe this is what we're going to be going with completely. That's interesting. Sponging is one of my all-time favorite techniques, and it's something that I started when I first started stamping. I think one of the reasons I love it is because it's great for brand new people, and it's great for doing all kinds of really cool techniques. Okay, I'm learning. So this is why we hang out together, as we learn from each other. Okay, so shimmery white cardstock. Why do you want to use shimmery white cardstock? It's kind of a mouthful to say. It has just a little bit of a sheen to it. Not really a sheen. It has like little tiny speckles in it. It's kind of an eggshell color, so it goes with white or vanilla. But more than anything else is it really, really will grab the ink in a very unique way. So let's get on with stamping. Here we have a little piece of shimmery white cardstock, and I'm going to use some painter's tape. And I'm going to put some painter's tape all the way across the bottom, and you can see that this is why I use grid paper, one of the many reasons. I'm going to line that up, and I'm going to run this all the way across so that I'm covering that up. And I don't want to put any ink on that part right there. And then my painter's tape is allowing that to be secured. And then I am going to take more painter's tape, and I'm near the end of a roll, but I have another one up here. I had to raid this. And I'm going to cover up just one of these squares because I'm just going to get about 1/4 of an inch on the edge there. And I'm going to do that on both the sides. So this bottom part, I'm not going to add any ink for about 1 inch. And on the sides, I'm only going to come in about 1/4 of an inch. So this is where my painter's tape is going to allow me to get this right. I need to make sure that's straight. That would be an unfortunate mishap, as if that were not straight. Because once I start applying that ink, okay, let's see. let's pull this and let's try, whoopsie, let's try going here. Okay, that looks about right. And see, you can even see it from the inside a little bit, see it through the paint. And then, once we get all of the painter's tape, then we are going to start stamping. So, and I think for time's sake today, my stepped up is going to be just taking my simple version and adding a little bit to it. I think this is a little bit off. Let's try that one more time. There we go. Okay. So now I have my blank canvas all ready to go, and it is being protected by my painter's tape. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this in like so. And we are going to stamp with Memento Black Ink. And you'll notice that this is quite a large stamp, and so I'm going to ink it upside down. I'm telling you, I am just gobsmacked that sponges are retiring. Lord have mercy. What is this world coming to? The only thing that's retiring up to the sponges that I was mourning about is those gorgeous, gorgeous, what are they called? Stitched Shapes dies. I'm going to be using them today. So that was the only thing I was mourning up to this point. Now I've got something else to mourn. Now look at that. Gorgeous, gorgeous artist work. That's what I love about stamping is it makes it look like I'm an artist, and I didn't have to draw any of that. All I had to do was ink it up and stamp it. Now, with this stamp set, I also have this nice little scene here. Let's see. I think I'm going to go back on this side. And let's do it like so. So off in the background, you're going to be able to see a little bit of, yeah, it works. Okay, so that's kind of off in the background. And there's my lake there. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to do this with all neutrals. And that is why I have my neutrals box out here. And I'm going to be using Smoky Slate and Basic Gray. And we're going to do like a study in black and white. I don't think that's Smoky Slate. Let's see. Smoky Slate is really pale. It's our palest gray. And then I'm going to be using some Basic Gray as well. Before I do that, and I do have a little tiny smudge there. I probably, you know what? I think that once I start sponging, you won't be able to see it. So before I do that, I'm going to come in with my Smoky Slate blends, and I'm going to add a little bit of shadow like so. I'm just going to kind of color in some of these areas to give them a little bit of definition. And my posts. And you can see how already that's giving just a little bit of punctuation, a little bit of definition to what I have here, so that it's not all the same. I definitely want there to be a little bit of depth and a little bit of definition there. Okay, and this little cattails here. Let's see. Okay. So I think that's probably what I need, and I'm going to come along here with the light blends, and I'm just going to do a little bit of my bird, and a little bit of here, and a little bit of here, and maybe some of these lines. Okay, and maybe we'll do a few of these. Just, again, we're just kind of wanting to bring it some depth here and help it to have some definition, depth and definition. Hey, Marlene and Mary, I'm glad you're here. We don't mind you being late one bit. So, let's see. Okay. Okay, and now let's have a little bit of sponging. I think we're going to start with light, and then we're going to work our way up. Okay. Let's see if we can go kind of all across the top here, like so. And I did, because I came in here with my blends, I already know that I have my black ink has already dried very, very nicely. Let's see, I got a little bit. Didn't really intend to have that sponge mark there, so we'll see if we can kind of pull that out. We can see if we can just kind of blend. And that's the nice thing about sponges, is you can just kind of keep blending and adding more color. And this is why they're so fun for new stampers as well, is because you just kind of get that sense of being an artist and doing something fun without really knowing much about what you're doing. You don't have to have lessons, you just kind of go for it. So now I've got a pretty good layer of smoky slate. Now I'm going to come in with some basic gray. And now I'm going to add more color to this dock. And I'm going to bring in some depth there, make it quite a bit darker. And I'm going to bring some depth down to this corner where I got kind of a splodge of ink, a little bit more than what I was looking for. And you see how this is already just giving me just kind of a soft look, a little bit ethereal. Kind of been on a kick lately. Probably I had shared with you guys on Tuesday that a number of people in my life just have really rough things they're going through. So what do we think? Are we liking this so far? Are we where we need to be? I think that's probably all I need. So let's see what happens when we pull the, you know what? This is a little bit of a line here and I don't like that. So let me come back in. Whoops, see, my other lid just kind of went. Let's see if we can't just kind of feather that out a little bit. I don't like that line. It was a little bit harsh there, so that looks better. And you remember what I shared with you about when you're closing up your lid for your blends, just pull it on your desk, push until you hear that little snap. And then you know that it has sealed really, really well. Okay, so all I had is I've used my basic gray, my smoky slate, and my tuxedo Memento Black Ink. So kind of a study in black and white. So now let's lift this and see what we're going to have when we lift it. Ooh. You see how what's happened is I have intentionally made a frame. And you do, when you use the painter's tape, it's going to lift, but you do want to be careful. You don't want to just rip it like a Band-Aid, you know. You want to kind of just gently come across there. See how it's pulling a little tiny bit of my cardstock. And this one next. Look at that nice frame. Isn't that fun? And that came together in just seconds. I mean, it was very, very quick. Let's see if I can pull this. Now I've left, ooh, that's pulling a little bit of cardstock up. Let's see if I can come from this side and hopefully it's going to be a little bit nicer to me. Yeah, it's lifting a little cardstock there too. Ay, don't do this to me, don't do this. Yikes, it's not what I wanted. Okay, well, that is going to tell me what I need to do there. So it's kind of giving me a rough edge there, which actually looks kind of cool. So I'm not, yeah, you're right. The white frame, it just sets it off, doesn't it? And all it took was a little bit of painter's tape. So now I am going to do it like so. And it almost looks like a Polaroid picture, you know, back when we had Polaroid photos. So I think I'm going to go ahead and stick this down. And I'm going to decide what I'm going to do about my greeting, because initially I had planned to do my greeting directly on there, but it's all bumpy because some of it came up with the painter's tape, and I don't want to commit to something there and then I don't like the way it looks. So let's just keep working here and see how we come on. I think I forgot to bring my little white panel. I actually have a basic gray card. So now look what I've done. Let me get some of this blue out from under me. I think I'm just going to flip this over so it's a little easier to see. Ooh, that's full of ink from the other day, from Tuesday. Let's see if this won't give me a little better look so that we can kind of see what we're doing. So now I have this really cool look, and I've made a really fun scene. So you can see why I like this stamp set. So now my initial thought was to put "I'm here for you" right there. But I'm a little concerned about that. I'm a little concerned about the texture on that. So what I'm going to do, I brought a couple of things over here. I could add a circle like that, kind of like that. I think this white is going to be too white. Yeah, that's just not. So let's go with it. So this is what I'm mourning, these layering shapes, no, stitched shapes. They come in, you get a set of squares, a set of ovals, and a set of circles, and all in one set of dies. Now, somebody here who has been looking at this retiring list a lot more than I will know whether those are on sale or not, because if they are, they probably might already be sold out. So that I'm not familiar with. I got to do FaceTime with our England kids today. It's a little bit off. Did I make another one? I thought I made a second one. Let's see. There it is right here. See that happy birthday? It's a little bit down. It needs to be a little bit higher up. Let's try it up here. Isn't that a nice little happy birthday? Isn't that cute? So that is going to go like so. Kind of a subtle look, you know. It's black and it's white and it's a little bit somber, but actually I think it almost looks like, you know how people have a lot of like black and white photos in their house, and kind of a modern look. So I think it kind of has that look to it. So we're going to see what we want to do with regard to stepping this up and seeing if we can't make it look a little bit more, a little bit less somber. You know what? Let's just live dangerously. Well, I could do that on here. It's just going to totally change the look. So let's just keep playing a little bit and see what we come up with. Did I bring my ribbon over here? No. I was talking to my son as I was getting ready, which is going to be a little bit of a dangerous thing to do. Now, I could add some of these kind of gray pearls. I could add that. I could add these metallic pearls. I kind of like that. That's kind of a cool look. These are the epoxy droplets, and they're kind of cool looking too. This is just too blingy, I think. So that's kind of where I'm settling. That totally changes the look. But I'm going to go grab some ribbon and show you the direction that I was looking to go. I think I probably left it over on my workstation. So let me see if anybody has an opinion about some of those little opal ones right there. So lots of options on adding a little something. Oh, I'm glad you like this, Darlene. Stunning. That's high praise. I'm very pleased. I think that you have to have just the right stamp set for a look like this, and I think this is the perfect stamp set for it. So let me show you, since I had to get up. Let me see what we can do here. So we'll think about what we're going to do as far as adding a little to step it up. What do you think about a bit of this vanilla lace. What do you think about adding vanilla lace at the top? I think that definitely brings some of the somberness out of it and brings it into a little bit more of a birthday card. Or I could switch gears and I could keep it somber and I could do the I'm here for you across the bottom. So this definitely is more of a masculine look, but look what happens when you add that lace. I mean, it just changes everything. Really does. Now this, believe it or not, is the Early Espresso. This is that faux suede, and I think it just works. Again, much more of a masculine look. So, oh, I'm glad. Oh, Diane, I'm getting rave reviews today. Wow, you guys know how to make a girl feel really good. Okay, so let's go. I think I'm going to try this because I think I do want to make it into a birthday card. So let's just do a couple of lengths of this, what do you call it, lace trim. And I think I'm going to go ahead and stick this down. And I'm just going to kind of center it at top and bottom so I have enough room for my lace up here. And then pop this up on dimensionals. Don't take this wrong, but the original card design is rather sexy. No, I'm not taking that wrong at all. It is, oh, Terry Lynn's going for the suede. That definitely, see, this is where black and white is so classic. And we can either take it masculine or we can go feminine. And we can just, you know, it really is almost like a chameleon kind of a situation. So let's see, if we go with the faux suede, we could do it right at the top, or we could do it just right across here and make it very kind of just a little knot on the side. We could do something like that. So I'm kind of waiting to see if anybody else is going to give me, you like it as a masculine card. Okay, then that's what we're going to go with. We're going to remove the lace as much as I want the lace, as much as I love the lace. You know what, I'll probably do a second one with the lace and photograph it. So let's try it this way. And I will say, you know, masculine cards are a lot harder to do. And at least for most of us, I think that they are just more challenging. But here again, this is where sponging, in my view, is fantastic. For all of your technique things are great for guy cards. And so when you do sponging, when you do techniques, they're really good for guys because it doesn't add, like, I mean, you can't add lace, you can't add bows. It just doesn't, it doesn't go with a guy card. But man, you can get this smoky scene that we've got going here, this kind of classic black and white with just that little, we're going to do just a little ribbon knot. So yeah, always needing masculine. Okay, I'm hearing you loud and clear on the masculine. All the votes for masculine cards. And you know, this suede ribbon, faux suede, is really awesome. I mean, how much more masculine can you get than putting a little bit of leather on a guy's card? I mean, and you see how this is Early Espresso and this is basic gray, but look how nice they look together because there's actually a lot of black in Early Espresso. So this is going to go all the way over. We're going to bring that knot all the way over, and let's see if we can do like so. It does look like a Polaroid, Crystal, you're right. For those of us who grew up with all the rage, let's bring that over a little bit farther. And I know that Crystal, with 3 sons and a hubby, you know, you're always needing masculine. So again, this is By the Dock stamp set. It is retiring, and the stamp set, I think it's $22, has some excellent, excellent stamps in it, and it also has some really outstanding greetings in it. And we're just going with super simple today with a birthday card. That's just not, it's too, you know what? I think it's too bulky. I'm not going to, let's see. I think a knot is going to be too much. So let's see what we can do to figure out. I have another little solution for that. If I can find my little let's see, did I leave it in here or did I pack it away? I think some linen thread would actually do the trick for me. Let's see if I can lay my hand to some linen thread and do... Let me show you how you can do, when you have ribbon that's a bit thick like this, let me show you a little trick that will help you. So we're going to put a little piece of linen thread, and what we're going to do is we're going to pull this together like so, and we're going to wrap the linen thread around it. So you see I'm not tying it into a knot like we would typically do. So I've just brought these two pieces together, butted them up against each other, and then I'm going to take the linen thread, which is much finer, and again, great on masculine cards because it's all natural. Now you see how I'm doing that? Now I can pull this up, and pull this tighter. There we go. And then I can move this over, and it's a way to keep this ribbon together without adding the bulk of a knot, because this is a thick ribbon. Now, you know what I could also do? You know what? Instead of having that off to the side, which I think kind of distracts, you know what I just figured out? All I really need to do is, I think it'll hold with this. Let's just put some seal down here. That's all we need. It's catching this underneath here. That's all we need to do right there. Boom, done. Sometimes it takes me a while. So all we're going to do is tuck that under and just let the card, the focal piece, just float right over the top. Okay, so now we're cooking with gas. Now we have just that little hint of ribbon, and then when we open up, it's all the way around. So that gives kind of a nice luxurious look. Okay, took me a while to get there. Notice that I'm using my black, the suede across the lower white space. Now that would have been an interesting look too, Terry Lynn. This is the fun of designing together in real time. This is live TV, people. I absolutely love it. So we could have done that all the way across the bottom, and I want to just kind of show you that if we had gone in that direction, what it would look like. So we could have done it like this, and that would have been a nice look as well. But we went with something that is very, very subtle. It's just a little bit right there. Now my happy birthday is here. What I want to do with my happy birthday, which one looks better? I think they're much the same, aren't they? I think this one's up a little bit higher. I wanted to actually add a little bit of ink to that and sponge the edges. Here's my black pad. Here we go. Oh, Velma, thank you. I'm glad you're liking this. I think we'll just go with the smoky slate on smoky slate. So there is, well, I made a mess. Surprise, surprise, my workspace is an absolute wreck. I know that Darlene is probably laughing right about now. And somewhere here, there is a little gray smoky slate sponge. Where did you go? I'm still in shock, you guys, that sponges are retiring. I'm just gobsmacked. Cannot find my sponge. You know what? Maybe I put it away. Look at there. I put it away. Oh. Now, here we go. Let's do a little bit around the edges. And let's see if we can make this little circle have a little bit more oomph to it. You're right, Diane. You do have to sometimes try a lot of different possibilities, but I have to say, it is more fun trying them when we're here together. Don't you think that looks better? Well, I'll show you. Here's the plain one, and here's the sponged one. I think the sponged one definitely looks better. Make sure I'm still in camera view. Now, I really am not sure that we even need an embellishment. I'm going to leave it like that. And I think we will pop it up on a couple of black dimensionals. And then, let's see, do we want to add a little bit of embellishment, or do we want to just leave it straight? I will say on guys' cards, I think that most of the time less is more. I think it's pretty snazzy. You know, this looks like it would go on the wall of a New York City apartment. You know, it's just that black and white classic, almost looks like a photograph, really. Not only because of the Polaroid style, but even just the style of the artwork. So, do we want to add a couple of these or a couple of these? Okay, so Kay likes the sponged edge and Laura's liking it. Okay. Okay. So everybody's liking this. Do we add a little bit of embellishment across the bottom or not really? Should we just leave it? Let's see. And I do need to have an inside. Let's see. What should we do? I think these are a bit large. I think I definitely don't want to do that. If I was going to do something, maybe these little tiny guys? What do we think? Crystal, leave it as it is. Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking. I think less is more. Now, what I need, and I thought I brought my little white panels, but I think that I'm actually, because of the way this is worked out, I think I'm actually going to put a vanilla panel on the inside. And you can see how this shimmery white cardstock, it is kind of an eggshell color. So, you know, this is basic white cardstock. So you see the difference there, but it's not quite as dark as Very Vanilla either. So let me grab a Very Vanilla panel. I don't have any already cut, which is almost unheard of because I keep a lot of those. And I don't know about you guys, but I keep a lot of Very Vanilla and basic white panels, just plain, ready to go on the inside or to add a layer. So everybody has weighed in. Let me tidy this space up a little tiny bit while we are just kind of getting into the final last little touch here. And I can tell you that I could give this to my husband or either of my grown sons and they would love this. They would absolutely love it. Now you see, here's the difference. There's the vanilla, this is the shimmery white, and this is the basic white. So you can see how it's kind of an eggshell color. It's really, really lovely. And I think that we've done something pretty awesome here today. So I'm going to do my little panel off camera so you don't have to stop and watch that. I could put that little bit of, you know me, I want to keep messing with it, but I think it's honestly just perfect the way it is. When I do my Very Vanilla on the inside, you know what, let me just do that. I don't think you guys mind. We got through here pretty quick today. So let me just pull this and let's do a 4 by 5 1/4. And I do think the Very Vanilla is a little bit more unexpected for the inside. And I could do shimmery white and just carry that through to the inside. Your shimmery white cardstock is a little bit more expensive than your basic white and your Very Vanilla, and it does have properties. I don't know what it is about it, but it holds ink really, really well and allows you to blend, and it's really cool to work with. And you know, even though the painter's tape pulled a little bit here, I think if I had done it a little bit more lightly and not pressed it in so hard, it wouldn't have ripped that. But because of the look of this, it actually looks good, if that makes sense. So let's do do the basic gray. And I think what we'll do is let's just take this and we'll just do a little bit more across the bottom on the inside. Voila, that's it. So that will be on the inside. And it has a happy birthday, and if I wanted to, I could even do something like, thank you for the difference you make in my life, because I think a birthday is actually a nice time to celebrate someone and to acknowledge the place that they have in your life. But I think I'm just going to leave it, and then I have plenty of room to write something nice on the inside. And again, because my ribbon went all the way around because of the way that, you know, this is a portrait style and a long elongated 11 by 4 1/4. I like that little bit of leather on the inside. It kind of has a nice touch so that whichever fella is going to get my card, it just has that little bit of extra. Let me grab that. There we go. So that is my simple and stepped up card today, all in one. And honestly, the only stepping up we did was adding that little bit of ribbon. And honestly, my intention was to step it up with the die cut and to stamp this across the bottom. But because I kind of ripped my cardstock a little bit, I just decided to go with the added die cut. But honestly, it would be pretty either way. Well, ladies, thank you so much for joining me here today. I would love it if you would share my video. It helps me so much. I will put a title on it and a little description, and that way if you're watching the replay or anybody else, it's easy to find exactly what we were looking for here. So super, super simple card. And we made it special with sponging. And this is the artwork by the Doc, Retiring Stamp Set, $22. The dies, there are coordinating dies, and you can get those, I think, at a bargain price right now. So that is what I have for you today. Don't forget that I will be back here Tuesday for Teach Me Tuesday. I think I'm actually I'm probably going to use by the Doc again and use the dies this time. We'll see. I'm going to keep watching to see if they're available. One of the things, I realize that people watch these videos after the fact, and but as much as possible, I try to show you things that you can still purchase, because at least at the time that I'm showing you what it is, because I think that it's, like I said, it's frustrating if you want to then go and buy that because you're a demonstrator, you want to buy it from yourself, or because you want to come to my store and purchase it from my online store, that you're able to do that. And I think that when you see something, you go, man, I'd love to have that, but yeah, it's no longer available. I find that super frustrating. So anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you. I will see you here Tuesday. For Teach Me Tuesday, don't forget to share my video. And if you have any questions at all, just throw them into the comments down below, or you can always send me a private message. And I sure appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Take care and God bless.